Hi guys, Mrs. Z here. Have you ever been lying in bed, fast asleep, and suddenly a loud boom wakes you up? That's what happened to us yesterday morning. And we knew when we sat up straight in bed that lightning had struck somewhere very close. Well, by the sound of that lightning, we knew that something had been struck, and we knew it had been close by. But we went about our day as usual yesterday. Didn't see any sign of a lightning strike. We went off to church this morning. Still no clue as to where that lightning had struck. And then John came back from a little ride on the golf cart, and he came in and he said, "Hey, you want to see where that lightning struck?" And we said, "Yep, we do." And he took us just around the curve on the road by our house to show us the pecan tree right there, right along the road. And if you look at that pecan tree, you can see a difference, a night and day difference of what it looked like just 3 days ago. You see that vine growing up the left side of that tree? Well, my friends, that is a poison ivy vine, and it's been there for years and years and years, and it didn't used to stick out so far from the tree. We could tell right away that it looked different. And as we got closer, we saw why. See that brown spot right there at the foot of the tree? That certainly wasn't there 3 days ago. When you see that, where the bark has been completely blown off, you know that lightning probably has struck that tree, especially when it happens overnight like that. And it hit it so hard somewhere up towards the top of the tree, and every so often you can see those brown patches where the bark has been blown off the tree. You can see some right here. And if we go around the other side of that tree, right up there, there's another bare barked place. So somewhere up high, the lightning struck, and it traveled all the way down to the base of the tree. And it even burned, looks like it burned the ground around the base of the tree. Isn't that cool? Lightning is a very powerful thing. You can even see little pieces of bark that were blown off that tree. And it separated that poison ivy vine in places from the tree. Wow! Am I ever glad I wasn't the one that got struck by that lightning. Whew! And speaking of poison ivy, do you know what to look for when you're looking for poison ivy? You ever heard of that old saying, "Leaves of 3, let it be"? That's poison ivy. It grows in a cluster of 3 leaves, and that's what's growing up the side of that. Now, my sister was here not so long ago visiting, and she was asking me to show her what poison ivy looks like, and I was explaining that. Leaves of 3, let it be. And she got that, and I showed it to her. And she was surprised to learn that poison ivy does not have to be on a tree. This is just growing alongside the road near that tree. It's not attached to a tree. Do you see the poison ivy there? See leaves of 3? light colored green leaf thing right there. 1, 2, 3. 3 leaves growing together. And can you pick out any more? Right there. 1, 2, 3. And there's one right there. 1, 2, 3. So if you are allergic to poison ivy, you know that you don't have to be in this stuff very long before you experience some itching. You break out with little red itchy spots on you, and those spots can itch for 1 or 2 weeks. It takes a long time to go away, and the more you scratch them, the more likely you are to spread it on your skin. So, remember the old saying, leaves of 3, let it be. Might just pass along a note of warning to you. During a thunderstorm, you really don't want to seek shelter under a tree to get out of the rain, because lightning will often strike trees because they're the tallest thing around. Several years back, we had 6 prize heifers that we had saved to be mama cows, and it started to rain, and they sought shelter underneath the big pecan tree at the pond dam. And the lightning struck the top of that pecan tree, traveled down the trunk like this one that we were talking about, and it went into the ground and killed 5 out of 6 of those big heifer calves. And the 6th cow we thought was going to die as well. She was staggering around the pasture close by with a bloody nose, and we were just sure she would die, but she didn't. She recovered, but she always cocked her head the rest of her life. She was a good mama and produced lots of good calves through the years, but she always had that cocked head, and we always called her Lightning. So, let that be a lesson to you. When it's thunderstorming, don't seek shelter under a tall tree. Let's take a look at the other side of that tree and see what damage we can see on the other side. Oh yeah, looky up there. You see it? Right there. You can tell the lightning took the bark off there. And gotta tell you guys, most regretfully, chances are very likely that this tree will die. It won't die tomorrow, or the next day, or the next week, or maybe even the next year. But most likely it will die very slowly over the next several years. Lightning is hard on trees. Hey guys, have you hit that subscribe button yet? Don't forget to do that. And we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.